97.9 The Box, good morning. Welcome to the show. Raphael Saadiq is in the building.
Hello.
We try to watch. What happens is when people walk in and you feel the vibe, you start getting comfortable. So you start having conversations.
Right.
With them. Next thing you know, all the great stuff that you wanted to ask.
I already asked.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to play the halfway ignore the person game, which I hate to do that, but I had to. But here's what remember I said, here's the first question, because there is no dirt on you. What are you and Pharrell doing? Because you still look 25. That really was my question. I was like, this dude never ages. Him and Pharrell, I don't know what they got going on.
It's probably it gotta be.
Is he vegan? And I don't think you're vegan.
I'm vegan, but
are you? Okay, I didn't know that.
But
Okay.
that has nothing to do with it. I'm a fake vegan.
What does that mean?
I mean, like I don't say I'm vegan. People in LA say they vegan because they like to say it. It's the thing about a vegan, they'll let you know.
Clout chasing.
No, they like I'm vegan. I'm not vegan. What I do is I try to eat clean sometime, right? I mean, I might not eat no meat or whatever, no carbs and nothing like that. But when I start eating, it could be like I might be vegan for a month, then I'm eating ribs, pork ribs. Then I'm eating steak.
But you don't commit yourself to saying I'm vegan and get into that classification, so you have to have that battle with people. I respect that.
I love food.
I respect that.
What about your skincare routine?
That's my dad.
Just good genes?
It's my dad. My dad could take a razor like this, not a razor bump anywhere his whole life. It's just,
that really was a question.
I got the luck gene. It's my dad. It's nothing special. But when you get older, it's in your knees. It's sometimes not in your face. You know.
Who would have thought? For real, that was a serious question. That was my only question. That was nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, you
Come
too.
back anytime. Now, here's my second one. This is another crazy one out the blue. The first two albums, you had a lot of strings in there. I didn't really hear a lot of strings in this album, but here's the dumb question. It reminded me of the group Chic, your strings from those first albums. Why were they so string intensive? I know you're a musician, too.
I'm a huge Bernard Edwards, bass player from Chic, and Nile Rodgers. I'm a huge Chic fan. My sister had a lot of vinyl in the house. I stole all her records. She told me I couldn't play her records. Don't touch my vinyl. And I'm like 9 or 10. I played all her records. And as soon as we got a record deal, we got some money, the first thing I did was call a string arranger.
Did you really? Why?
I wanted to hear my records the way I heard their records. And I thought I would be better because of it. I thought it would hide my voice more because I didn't think I was like a good singer. So I was like, let me just put good strings behind me. I'll play my bass. I play bass really good. So I protected myself by the bass. And I grew up in Oakland where it's a lot of critics. And you play in a place where people, like, they'll say, how you looking at me now? When you walk out of the show in Oakland, that's how people look at you at a show. But if you're good, they'll be like, but if you're not good, it's just dead. So I try to come out and treat the world like Oakland. I said, you know what? I'm not going to Houston that way. I'm not going to nowhere in Louisiana, Texas. Everywhere I go, before I get there, I'm sending some bombs there. So when they get there, they be like, how you doing? So strings was my thing. Anniversary, I used a guy named Claire Fisher who did like all the Rufus and Shaka Khan. He did Purple Rain. He did, Raspberry Beret. He's like a world. I mean, I just took the money and just boom. And really, that's why the group broke up, the Tonys.
because you spent too much money on the musicianship?
On strings. Yeah, because one day, our last album we're recording was House of Music with DJ Quick was on it. And my brother and Tim said, you know what, we want to record our album separately from you. You record your part, I record my part. And I never could figure it out. It took me like 15 years to figure it out. Like, why did they want to record with me? Because I was going to spend that money on them strings, which cost almost like $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah.
And I did. But then they ended up touring when I left the group and playing the songs that I had strings on.
Wow.
So,
and I'm going to get back to you
yeah.
and your family, because when you came here, you dropped the bomb on us of some stuff we didn't know, too. But you're starting to reveal it now. When you revealed it then, we was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
But the first album, big fan of all your music, obviously. Never had a bad review. I told you that when you walked in. I've never seen somebody like, this is a questionable Raphael Saadiq record right here. And here's the reasons why. I've never seen that. Now, maybe you have. I've never seen anything bad about any of your records. You always get high praises. They always mention, okay, this one didn't sell like this or this didn't sell like that. But the album is a complete this and that and that and that. So that is actually cool. What is that like to never get nothing but praise? Because you're a songwriter, you're a producer, you're a musician in your own right, doing your own albums, but I never really see you get criticism.
Well, because I usually kill myself more in the studio. I have songs that you will be like, oh, this is terrible. But I just don't put them out. I don't put them out.
I would love to hear a terrible rap.
They would probably still sound better than a lot of people's records. But I'm a people's fan, and I sort of know what I want to hear and what people might want to hear in their pastime. I feel like in life, You know, if you got to come to work every day and you have to play records and you have to find records and records you have to play.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to give you that record that you probably can't play on your station,
Mm.
but when you go home, you play it to your family. Sometimes I'd rather you play it to your family than to people that you play at work.
Mm.
And so that's why sometimes I think people go like, you know what? We're going to get this kid a break. We're going to get this dude a break because, you know.
You know you dope. That's not the truth. You dope. You know you dope.
Well, I mean, I come from I got a dope background of people. I've listened to a lot of music, and I just felt like I didn't get into the business to be whack.
Mm. It always seems to have a little twinge of hip hop in it.
Yes,
as
of
well.
course.
All your music, it always has a certain swing to it, which brings me. And this is about, after I get off this last tidbit, I'm gonna be done. We can get talking about the new album and all the other stuff you got going on. On the first album, once again, you had another song in there that you said that you were inspired by, I think, Jamie Foxx. And the record was a song called, I think it was Faithful.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Faithful.
Why you look away like that? And the reason why I bring it up, because this is going to be so over
Of
here.
course.
Nobody probably ever. On the song, it sounds like you're singing like
Steve Arrington. Yeah.
So you were?
Yeah, of course.
That shit was mad dope, son. I just had to tell you
Yeah.
that. I'm like, okay, Raphael's coming. Let me go back and revisit. I listened to that all night long, that track.
I want to take all my records. I'm like, it becomes me. It becomes me, right? Those records become me, but I'm playing dress up and act like everybody I love. That's why I'm in the business, to act like Steve Arrington, Sly and Family Stone,
Right,
Maurice White. I'm just having a good, playful time when I'm like, I'm doing what she don't know and funny cause I'm done this young baby, yeah, baby. I'm like having a Steve Arrington festival
Go
in the
listen
studio.
to this track. It's about being faithful. He's finally decided, because of all these people, I'm going to do what they're doing. I'm going to be the righteous guy that I should be.
Even though Jamie Foxx was never faithful.
I figured that was
at that time. So Jamie Foxx and my friend Lamont are like best friends. And they always, I see them before they get ready to go out. I see everything. So it was like a joke in the beginning of the record. I don't think Jamie liked it. I said that.
Really?
But he's a comedian. So, like, you know,
And he didn't like that,
joke.
really? That's interesting. I was over there like, damn, I didn't know Jamie Foxx. He kind of came across as a player, but that was kind of cool. Now to learn, oh, yeah, he was a player.
Joke.
Just being funny.
Yeah, of course.
Now, since you talked about your voice, you said you weren't that confident in it. Were you not supposed to be the lead singer of Toni?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Never
I just
the lead
detected
singer.
that, and it seemed like what happens sometimes in group dynamics of the group change, because it seems to me that your group was it was supposed to be your brother's thing, and what happens is the public decides who the leader is.
Well, my brother is a good singer, and he was singing in a lot of bands before I was singing in bands. We weren't never in the same bands. We were always in separate bands, and I always wanted to be in a band with my brother. I was really like the Brothers Johnson, so I always used to look at the album covers of Brothers Johnson. So one day, you know, me and Dwayne don't have the same mother. We have the same fathers. We live in different houses, and my brother was killing it on the other side of town, and I was killing it on this side of town. I said, it'd be cool if we joined together. And my brother's a good singer. And so once we got a deal, he was singing, and I sang one song, and the label was like, he has to sing all the songs. And I was like, at that time, Aaron Hall was singing. I was like, how can I do that? Aaron's singing "The Piece of My Love," and all these dudes are singing so good. And I wasn't really ready for that. So I had to cater to myself and sort of had to surround myself by my bass and like make people throwing off like, you know, hooks like "It Never Rains," and you know, I could just do little things like "See you."
But you was always jamming. I just felt like, did it cause dissension in the group though?
No, my brother was down with it.
Oh, he was okay.
He was okay with it. I mean, I'm sure he was a little butthurt, but at the same time, you know, my brother's a partier. He wanted to get to every town and just go to parties and be.
So you could worry about the vocals. He could burn out.
He could burn
part
out.
was done. Okay.
Exactly.
I just always felt like, because sometimes the public decides that's going to be our guy right there, and then next thing you know, the record company is forcing one of the brothers or somebody in the group to make that decision.
Yeah, no, they
It's
told
the
me
divide
right,
and conquer.
they said it right away. They just said you make him. They told the producers Denny and Tommy, make him sing. I sang Little Walter was our first first album, and I had a little voice that just because I played bass. Bass was my like my basketball. I thought I'm a stud on the bass. When I put the bass down, I was like a punk, a little sissy or something walking around. And I had to walk in the venues, and people were like, I'm a little singer. I'm like, no, dude, I play bass, but I put it down and let somebody else play it for the shows.
When were you confident that, oh yeah, I do sound good doing this? I am that guy.
I don't think I actually felt. I felt great, you know, every time we got to a city and I sang a song and people applauded. But honestly, I felt the best when think my second solo album, honestly, I feel the best.
Okay, that's like all the
Yeah.
Tony stuff in your second record was
Yeah.
when you finally got comfortable.
Not even on Instant Vintage, really. Maybe around this is gonna sound strange to you, but maybe now.
Bro, that's a whole career.
a whole career.
What has it taken for you to get comfortable? Like, I'm Raphael. This is what I sound like. I'm cool with it because
Yeah.
there's songs like you said you could sound like Steve Arrington. You were really good. I can tell when you
Yeah.
that's a little Prince right there.
Yeah.
I hear it. Oh,
And I
know
still
that's-
do it. I still do it.
right, you do,
Yeah.
you do. But I'm like, what made you now say after all this time? It's a long career. It's a great career to say I'm comfortable in my skin.
I'm comfortable now because now I feel people are really. I feel like they were always listening to me, but now I'm singing and I hear people. They're putting the pieces together. Because if you go back from this new record that I just put out, Jimmy Lee, and you go back, you hear all these little gems that I was dropping, certain words that I was saying. Like I got a song called "This World Is Drunk" and the people is mad.
That's the
Right, so
shit.
you listen to
That's
"Loving
the
You" on the Tony's record. "Loving you makes my heart sing." I say, "This world is drunk and everybody's mad." You know, so you'll go back through my records and you'll hear me say,
You put that out there.
yeah, all these things that I've been saying. I feel like now with all those records, people are caught up. They're catching up to everything that I was saying, and now I feel like my voice is one when I don't need to play bass and I can just sing and look at people. It's weird. I mean, I just noticed it too. Strange.
I'm glad you brought up the Jimmy Lee too, because yes, let's get up to date. This album, why now to have an album so personal? To me, it's personal. It's about your brother who's no longer here, and to everywhere you go now, as you promote this record, you're gonna have to talk about the
Jimmy
memory
Lee.
of your brother that's not
Yeah.
here. Why this comfort level now? Because you could have did this long ago.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't figure out which brother to talk about. So
Wow.
I mean, I have
And
like,
you had to explain that too.
I have three brothers and sisters who passed away of similar addictions. One of my brothers, a year older than me, he killed himself with a double barrel shotgun because he couldn't stop messing with with drugs. And the other one was killed over $12,000. He was selling dope. And my other brother died from a heroin addiction. And then my sister just died in a car accident. All this happened while I was making the record. So I was able not to put my energy in that record and still give the world like nice, lovely songs for their families and
How?
relationships.
Right, exactly.
How?
It was my therapy.
Mm.
You know, I didn't know that. I wasn't even using words like
But
therapy.
doesn't the song? You would think that the songwriting would change if I just went through this tragedy, because I know the story of your sister. Y'all just
yeah,
she was on life
unplugged
support,
her. Yeah.
and then you said you was singing.
It never rains.
How do you go knock out?
How?
Yeah, like don't the
Nah.
song change? I'm not gonna be able to go to the studio today, or you start writing something different because you want to, promote.
I was 1 mile away from a studio called Live Oak in Oakland. My sister died in a trauma hospital called Highland Hospital, where I was born.
Right.
I went from there and drove to the studio and kept singing. I don't know how I did it. When my brother killed himself, when he shot his complete head off with a double barrel shotgun, when my dad came home, they took the body in a garbage bag, and me and my dad and one of my other brothers, Randall, one of my older brothers, we just started cleaning it up. We didn't. The body was gone, but like the blood and the brains, not the brain itself, but like the skull,
Yeah.
was still there. So there's a number you can call.
The people that come and they clean that kind of stuff. Y'all just
We never thought about that. And so my sister asked me 2 years ago, like, why didn't you guys call that number? My dad used to have his own janitorial service. My dad was just like, well, and we just started like, and I told my sister, I was like,
so
I don't
where's the
know
mourning period for you?
why
And
we
it's-
did that.
and it's not in any of your music that I can hear it till now. And then the album is not sounding like a mournful
Nah,
record. I don't want to say it's dark or upbeat.
it got a little bit of
it's-
twist of it.
It's an interesting record though. I don't know, because I'm going into the album looking to see what the Jimmy Lee. It seems to be telling me, and I get it. You're telling me this story about the person, and we all know a Jimmy Lee,
We all know Jimmy
or
Lee.
we all have an addiction, and I get that. And usually with these kind of albums, it comes from a darker perspective. And so I went to the record looking for darkness, and I really didn't get darkness or happiness, and I was still jamming. So when I hear that Raphael's doing this album when he's talking about his brother, you go with a mindset, because I lost my brother last year too. So you go into the album with a certain mindset. But I'm there. I'm like, should I be jamming to his brother's album like this? Should I be playing the drunk song over and over and over and over and over?
Yeah, and that's what you should be doing, because if you grew up in a hood or anything that was called a hood, or if you grew up in Beverly Hills or some very prosperous neighborhood, you find out it's just life. Some of my friends are in the NBA. Brian Grant, who's one of my best friends, who had an opioid addiction and had all the money in the world. So I just figured, like, but in my neighborhood, Jimmy lived around the corner. It was so many Jimmys. I just had my own Jimmy, you know. So I couldn't really stop and be like, I was just like, damn, Jimmy, really? In my mind, that's what Desmond killed himself. I was like, bro, really?
Right.
So I just took one of my guns and put it to my head. It was unloaded. I was in ROTC. I know how to handle a gun. I'll make sure it wasn't. But I just like, I never got a chance to ask him the question, why would you do that? So I was just like, what in the hell
would make you do
what was you thinking about? Did you know this was going to damage us? But maybe he was so damaged that it just had to happen. But with Jimmy was like a funny ass dude, like hilarious. Like if my brother was here right now, he could jump on one of these microphones and be, 10 minutes to be asking you for some money. Like, bro,
had to give me 10.
Yeah, give me $20. You can get it from Ray. You gonna see him. I know he coming to Houston in a minute. Just knocking us. My brother, he love me. He gonna give you the money back. My brother was he was always funny, and we never.
There was no way to ever get him off the drugs. Like, hey, we got to do something as a family to get him off.
Did he try to get help?
Help? No, wasn't no help. He was it. That was his character. That was him. He was still like, I remember I had somebody working on one of my houses one time, and he came over, and somebody was fixing something on my roof, and it's this white guy, and my brother goes like, "Are you a Quaker?" And I'm like, "What?" I thought he called the guy a cracker. Right? And I'm like, bro, what you doing? I said, why you call him dude like a cracker? He said, no, Ray. I said, a Quaker. You know what a Quaker is? And at the time, I didn't. Quaker, they're like people who help. And I didn't know, but I thought my brother called this dude a cracker. He was like, no, they get people who help black people who do this. Cause my brother was from Louisiana. He was born in the South, and he came here. So he was always just a funny, uplifting guy. And I've only seen him one way. Was that way. So when he was high, I never knew he was high. So when I made the record, I was really just saying, wow, I never really got a chance to talk to him. Like, bro, are you high? And like, how does it feel to come around a family that nobody's actually really high? But your life has been like this since you were like 14 or 15. You came from Louisiana, from Monroe, Louisiana, and then you came to Oakland, where the Panthers were, and it was this epidemic of everybody getting high. How do you feel about that? Never got that chance. But like I said, my brother was a guy, like I'll wake up in the morning, I have like a nice little red-nosed pit bull in the backyard. Like, what? That's mine? So he was a hero to me.
Right.
He spent a lot of time in prison. We visit him in prison a lot. That's when I said, in the hood, everybody like, yo, my brother coming home, my brother in the pen. It was like a good thing till I went there and found out that he couldn't leave one day. I'm like, let's leave, let's rock. He was like, yeah, I really can't go. I'm like, you mean you stuck? Like, you can't leave? It's like 4 million dudes in here. He's like, yeah, I can't leave. And I said, oh, I guess you're not a celebrity. You in jail. Because I thought he was
because he was celebrated in the hood.
Exactly.
Prison is celebrated in the hood.
So Jimmy Lee is that record where I just went down this rabbit hole. I didn't sit there and make a record. I'm going to make this record about Jimmy Lee. I made a song called Sinner's Prayer, which opens up the record. And then from there, I made a ton of different albums. And then it started coming together. And I have a lot of friends who, like, that was a guy my age. He was on the streets turning tricks, selling his jewelry. His dad played with Herbie Hancock, The Whispers.
What?
Jaco Pastorius, and his whole family got turned out on dope. And he's missing a leg now. He might have 4 fingers left. His name is Philip Levi. He had somebody drive him to my show in LA last week, and I had Apple Music talk to him about his addiction. And this is a friend of mine. He's the only person I got a chance to say, what happened? Like, you had everything. What made you had way more than me? What made you do that? He said, bro, I was in class, and this dude was smoking a Grammy. That's weed, putting coke in it. He said, I wanted to be like him, and I tried it, and the next thing you know, I was out of the house. I was on the street, turning tricks, doing everything. And I'm sitting like, what? So that's why I really started writing the album, too, because I just start telling people it's something we need. And if I could put this in a capsule and people could listen to it and not be feel dark, not feel too like. But when you listening to a song, you like it's kind of jamming, but
Right. So
I
what's
never
the goal then? Like, because it's not to make me. You're telling the story, but not in a sad way,
right.
not in a happy way. It's I'm just gonna put this in the capsule of this is who Jimmy was. Am I supposed to walk away from it with however I walk away from it? Because like I said, I went to the album looking for a dark place,
Right.
and I walked away like, man, that shit was jamming.
The
dog."
darkest place is probably Glory to the Veins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's probably the darkest place on the record. But then Rear View with Kendrick is like, it's like saying, you know, you have more life ahead of you.
That was a surprise too, because you don't got Kendrick's name on the record. So when hey, that's Kendrick. Let me go back real quick.
Yeah.
Why?
So-
Why no notification?
Because it wasn't really about Kendrick. And
Mm.
Kendrick didn't want it to be about Kendrick. And I didn't want it to be about Kendrick because everybody uses Kendrick. He's hot. He's
Right.
talented. And, you know, when somebody's hot, everybody like, throw this dude on the verse. It's not about that. It's about the music. And I didn't really want that. And he didn't want that either. And
Respect
and so I felt like this record is really for you. It's for like maybe you might be talking to your nephew or one of your friends and be like, yo, bro, we both got careers. Let's make sure we don't do none of this type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like one of them gems need to be out there. Now, my next record ain't gonna be nothing like that. I'm gonna make another record. It's gonna be up. It's gonna be party. It's gonna be like, let's get down. I'm gonna
Yep.
call quick. It's gonna be different. But I felt like this one just got in the way. I was like, bro, you have to do this. It has to be meaningful. And I feel like it's a record that can help the world. And I wasn't trying to be like, let me heal the world, help the world.
Nah, I feel you.
It just happened.
Right,
you
right.
know.
Talk about the single because she thought thinking it's maybe a love song. at
Something
first.
keeps calling.
And I'm like, something keeps calling. It's that stuff. It be calling you.
Yeah, it's that.
And
it's
I didn't
that-
even get that at first. When I
I
heard it,
didn't
oh,
know.
that's a sweet song from Raphael. So
Yeah, yeah. Something keeps calling is it's like just that dope. Like you could be on your way to play football. NFL game, and all of a sudden you take a hit of some dope, and you ain't gonna make practice. All the money you got a big contract on the line. You're not gonna make practice. It's like the dope is the one thing you're gonna get. And I've seen so many people sort of mess up their career, their jobs. You can be a news anchor, somebody you see every day. You can be a mayor, and all of a sudden you get dope, and it just ruins your entire life. And but I wanted to make it sound like. Also, a friend of mine. She had an IG story, and she was in Jamaica on the beach. Something keeps calling, but I wanted to have that double entendre. Like you
purposely.
you can't be at the beach talking about like this dude keep calling you.
Yeah.
Or
You think it's love.
It's a vibe. I was like, what?
Yeah,
It's a
you
vibe.
think it's
But
love.
what
Then
I'm
you
trying
find
to
out,
say,
wait a minute.
drugs is love to people. So I have a record called
real
I'm
talk.
Feeling Love. When people like you think they're down, like they feeling better than you.
Mm.
They like, bruh, I'm feeling good. I have one problem. That's just getting some dope. We have 30 problems. We have property tax,
That
taxes.
bill, yeah. No,
You got to
real
go this
talk.
for your kids.
Yeah.
We got
Alright.
100 problems. They have one.
Wow. Never
I'd
thought
rather
about
have the
it
100
like that.
problems.
No doubt. No
Do you have
doubt.
any kids?
No, I don't.
No, you don't want
I have
kids?
everybody else kids. Well, my girl wants a kid right today. She's trying to get pregnant like today.
You really putting some stuff out there.
You gotta do it now, right?
Yeah, she got me flipping
That's
her
another
upside
concept
down.
album right there.
Yeah.
Trying to get his girl pregnant in the process.
Yeah.
That is a good concept. I like
Did you
that.
like the whole concept album thing? Did it kind of just, did just every song just kept on coming afterwards? And
I think almost all of your albums, Raphael, seem like a concept to me.
Yeah, the last.
Don't let me call it, but
He's
to me-
right. The last. All my albums have been
You do
concept
whatever
album,
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen in order. It's like you have like 14 and 15 songs, you have 20, and then you start picking like this one don't go. This is the better vibe. These don't actually happen. These actually go. Okay, this is what we have now. Like when you have Earth, Wind, and Fire, you have Gratitude, or you have a Too Short album, or you have an Outkast album, Stankonia, or you have
Yeah.
That's how records come together. Nobody really sits back and go like every song is gonna be this way.
Yeah.
True.
It's maybe out of 30 songs, if you don't have a record like with 30 records on it, if you can do 10 to 11 records, you can really make a pretty good concept album that people could get. And I in this day and time too, I just felt like it's so much music out. I feel like Drake runs the airwaves, and I like Drake, and I like trap music. I like Migos. I like all those groups. When I listen to them, sometimes, they could have too many records, and it's hard to like really grab what you should grab off their records. But then sometimes you'll get like J. Cole might do a record that's like a right on point. Like I think he executive produced Young Thug's new record, and like I felt like producers like that, they can grab records and make a record with like maybe 12, 13 records, and it's like you can in radio you can kind of grab it. With this record, I felt like I was gonna make this record 30 to 47 minutes, and I felt like it'll get some play, but it'll also live in your house. And I just felt like I always wanted to make household records.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go home, and home is your best place, and home is my best bet. Because that's how I learned my records. At home, I listened to Al Green in my mother's house. I didn't listen to it on radio.
Right.
I sit at my mother's house.
feel that.
They leave, and I was spending my day. I was like, oh, what's this? And then later on, I ended up being a producer and a writer, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to hit people in the heart. Or I want you to take my record, and if you got a kid or something, like, now I need you to listen to this before you go to college because I don't want this happening.
Well, your music is, I think now it is that. This kid probably was born on Toni. Yeah, My Pillow.
I'll be much older.
Anniversary. No, you probably was born.
How old are you?
26 tomorrow.
Yeah, baby. Cute. But yeah, but like she's 26, so when I was 9 or 10, I was listening to all Memphis records.
Right.
Didn't know it was Memphis records. Didn't know how old Al Green was.
Right,
I just feel like kids, you don't have to Google Gaga them. You just have to really sneak a
Put it in
joint
front
on
of
them.
Yeah.
And they be like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm sneaking joints on parents and kids. I've been doing that since Instant Vintage. I was like, I'm gonna sneak these joints out on people. I feel like if I had a cup of Kool-Aid, I use this funny analogy about if I'm sitting at the table and you had a cup and you slam the Kool-Aid and it just accidentally just a piece just touch your lip, and then you go like, what the hell? Give me a cup of that. That's how I feel like my music is.
That's pretty good. I like that in that. I like that.
Yeah, you might not get it as a $1 billion promo, and I might not be all, but if piece of that great Kool-Aid taste your lip,
I got you.
Got you.
All right, I like that. I think that explains your story. I think that's a beautiful way to sum it up.
Yeah.
But you got big records too. Let's not front on nobody. And when you write, be honest, when you at any time in your career, especially with the Tonys, do you know that when you hear the song like "Feels Good"? Let me just go back real quick. "Feels Good."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the biggest Tony record, but that's I mean,
one
y'all
of the
got a
big
lot
ones.
of y'all got a lot of big ones, but that's with the tempo. That's probably one of the biggest with the tempo.
Yeah.
Do you know when you first hear that, like, ooh, we got that one?
I knew we
This
had
is
it
in the
when we had. Honestly, I didn't know "It Feels Good" was gonna be a big record. I thought it was I just thought it was an up-tempo song. I was really surprised. I think I was walking through this gym, and I saw all these white ladies in this step aerobics class when I passed.
What a way to get introduced to your record.
Telling the truth.
They were doing step aerobics. It feels good. And I was like, oh shit, this is a big song. I was like, yo, step aerobics? See, that's when step aerobics was new, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like they had the little ugly step things. They was like stepping on it and stepping down on the left and the right side. I was like, and it was like one of them private little bougie, like posh, like gyms. And I was like, in Sacramento, I was like, I still didn't understand it. I was just like, I don't know what this record is, but it's something. It ended up being a huge song. But the record that I knew that was going to be a big record was Let's Get Down.
Really?
Like when I made Let's Get Down, I walked out of there, left quick, and I went to the Porsche dealership and bought a Porsche on my credit card.
Nuh-uh.
I went and bought a blue 911.
I've never felt that good.
I've never felt that. That's the first time I walked out.
So what was it about that record that made you feel like we did it?
No, I was like, you know
Let's
what?
Get Down is a jam. No doubt.
Yeah, and I was like, I knew it was a publishing deal. Something was going to come after that. I just walked out of there, and I was like, I'll be back. I went to the dealership, and I walked on the floor, and nobody was looking. You know, the dealers wasn't looking at me like, who's this kid? And walking around. So, and I could tell like the senior guys wasn't paying me any attention. So I went and got the guy that looked like he was just starting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, dude, I want that Porsche right there. Here, go do the paperwork. I'll be back. I went on the street, get something to eat, have it washed, have it ready when I get, and I went and bought it. And the record was a smash.
Yeah, that whole album. So
Yeah.
hits on that one album.
Yeah.
I knew I had stuff behind me, but that's the only time I felt that good. Now, So
But you make good feeling records too. You don't like make I'm going to this record to be done, which I should have suspected even with the Jimmy Lee that it wasn't going to be. I thought that this Raphael might. I said, okay, is he breaking down on this record? So I was interested to see if you would.
Of course.
And I went to the record and I'm like, nah, it's Raphael doing what Raphael does best. He's telling the story, but he ain't making me go like, man.
Gave me the mumps. I'm like, oh.
But it's like a learning. There's a learning experience in it too. And the other thing with the song, I thought it was interesting that you gave the guitar player props.
Rob Bacon, yeah.
I'm like, I know he plays. He does a lot of. Whenever I seen his name, it's always been associated with Quick. With DJ Quick. And I was surprised when you did that. I'm like, I wonder why Raphael did that. And I'm glad he's here to answer that because I'm like, nobody ever gives the musician props.
You know those OG records when they say, get a drummer some.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like
Bacon goes off on it too.
Rob is an OG who hates every trap record. He hated New Jack Swing. He hates all new music.
I believe you too.
His kids, when they get in the car, they put on Soulja Boy. He's like, he walked in my studio like, industry is over. Have you heard this? TikTok, ding, 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 ding. He's like, shit is over, man. It's over. Industry is over. I'm like, he has a hard time
accepting the new.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I made this record. I said, you should play on this record. And he sent me the record and it was amazing when he sent it back. He lives in North Carolina now. So I said, you know what? I'm going to feature you on a record that's going to get some radio play and you're going to hear your name and on the song,
cool.
And he's
that's cool.
He's an but
cool.
Being that I'm in Houston, I'm like, I also produce, Solange.
Yeah, I was going to talk. I was going to let you. You think I'm going to let you come to Houston?
Yeah.
And that story is amazing, because everything with the Carter Knowles family, this for real. She loves. So she wasn't going to let you walk out of here without asking you about the Solange.
Tell us all about it. Fire off. Oh, not
I just realized I woke up and I was so sleepy when I woke up this morning. I'm like, I'm in Houston. This is where we call Solange Solo. Right, Solo. So this is where Solo from. I see her all the time, and I just saw her like 2 days before I came in. We ate breakfast together, and she's amazing. I just realized I'm like, Solange, this is where she's from.
No doubt.
Like her and B are from here,
city, man. No doubt.
and they be trying to act like city girls, like they're from like L.A.
You gonna get them
in New Orleans. I'm like, girl, y'all from hot ass Houston, and it's hot out here. No, but Solange is it's fun working with her. She's very creative, and it's nice to know that people from Houston have so much depth, so much soul, so much Southern creativity that the world really hasn't seen. I believe it's so much more here, and with
we hot right now. Lizzo, Normani.
Lizzo's from here too.
Yeah.
A funny story. Now, so I ran into Lizzo in Paris, at Afropunk, and she was getting off the elevator. She rushed out the elevator. She was so hot, and she was getting off. She didn't see me. She just blew past, and I just went around her and got in the elevator with my band. And they said, Lizzo, I thought she was from Africa until last week.
What?
Why?
I thought she's an African artist. I don't know. They just told me she was from
Houston.
I didn't even know that. I thought she was just from the States. I was like, she's from
somewhere in America.
Yeah, I thought she was from Africa. I thought she was Johannesburg or something like that, from Ghana. That shows how deep you guys are.
She might. She probably would still embrace that. Yeah, we hot right now, especially with the ladies. I don't know what happened. We just had this major shift. Like we was running at Houston hip hop, rap, all male, and all of a sudden with Megan and Lizzo and of course Beyonce and Solange, all of a sudden it's just girl power. In the city.
Piano. What's my man name?
Glasper.
Oh,
yeah.
Glasper
was
is
up here.
running Los Angeles right now.
Very talented brother. I love Glasper.
Robert Glasper is a funny dude.
Oh, he's so funny.
He is funny. Trust me.
I didn't know he was that funny, man. He's like.
Trust me. A lot of people didn't know how funny he was to that interview he did up here that one time, but we won't get into that. It went viral. Just know that. Go look for it. There's some good stuff on there. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I want to get into that. Raphael Saadiq is in the studio. Jimmy Lee's the new album. Okay, we're talking about Solange. So we know you wrote the song, but the interesting part about this is, for me, Cranes, is that this was an old track. I don't want to say it's a leftover. It was something that she was supposed to be writing on for you. Is that the way the story goes?
Yeah, she was supposed to write something for me.
So how did it turn into her track?
It was like, she's a thief, Solange would take a song and be like, Ray. Solange talk very long words about Ray. Right. I'ma need that. What happened was I gave her the song, or she heard it. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was working with Q-Tip for a minute. And he called me. He was looking for the song. I didn't have the song, and I only had a 2-track of it. My friend had a friend of mine named Conrad, but I only had one. When I was singing something totally different, it was similar to what she was singing. My melody was similar to that, right? So I didn't have it. All I had was a 2-track.
Mhm.
And so the record that you're hearing is just a 2-track. Everything was already on it, and we just mixed the 2-track with her vocals on the top of it, and we added
That's crazy.
a little bit of not piano, all the strings, and that's me playing drums, piano, bass, and everything. And my nephew is a hell of a keyboard player and producer and artist, and he played a little bit of piano over the top of it, and Solange had added this one little thing to it. And she just came and she just murdered it. I found it, but she's singing over a 2-track, and it was 8 years old.
Did you ever think she was gonna come out with it?
Oh no! As soon as she got it, she did it. But I mean, she was looking for it for 8 years. I gave it to her like when you heard the record, she had only had the record maybe 6 months. Yeah, and so I didn't even know what happened with the record, that it was blowing up.
So you don't even know. So you couldn't find the original track if somebody paid you $1 million to find it.
I found the track now with me singing it.
Oh, really? Okay.
With me singing a lyric to. I'm probably gonna put it out at some point.
Ooh.
But it's
Is it called Cranes in the Sky? It's totally. The whole
Change?
concept is different.
It's like, I don't know what you do. What you say is the certain things you always do to me. It's your style, it's your grace, your lovely hair. It's the certain thing. It's bad. It was banging too.
You gotta drop it.
It was banging too. It was hot. My boy took. He's like, "Yo, this is a smash. Why don't you let me like shoot a video to it?" And I never touched the record, and so I found the one that was instrumental. And I said, "Solange, I just found it." And I gave, but she took it and murdered it,
Yeah,
and
she did.
and she called me. She's like, "Ray, do you see what's going on with this record on Twitter?" And I was like, "Yeah, not really. I didn't really know how to
Do all that. Yeah.
I
You don't
mean,
be on social media like that?
all day, but I'm just not on Twitter. I'm more an IG person. Yeah, you know, but she was finding all the different sites on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but she was finding everything. And it was just like, it's blowing up right in front of your face. You don't see it? And I'm like, nah. I'm not happy for her, though, because she's
an incredible artist.
and everybody knocks her new album and say, well, she didn't have me on her new record, so that's why it's not good.
Well, because you were the executive producer for the last one, right?
Yeah. And she made me that. I was working on the record. I didn't know anything about that either. It just came out and said that I was that.
Wait a minute.
That's Solange, man. She's
What?
He said that's
What?
Yeah, I didn't ask for that. That's Solange. She just gave me.
Did
that.
you give her some direction or?
Oh, I was like giving her direction. I was being an
said,
ear for her and just being around there helping her.
And she felt that you were so big with the information that you gave her. I respect that.
She did that. Solange, give her props because
Yeah.
she did that. I didn't ask for that. That's just who she is
like
as a
that's who
person.
she was going to you. You gave her some great information that helped that record be a better record. So she gave you
And be
credit.
patient with Solange on her new record. Like, she's trying to be more like a museum piece. She's not chasing hits. Everybody don't do that. And I feel like her next record will be a different record, you know.
I've always felt like that about her, though. She's not.
She's in her own lane.
Yeah. If you go to her album looking for what her sister did,
can't do that.
you sure can't.
Can't trace that beast.
You can't.
That's a beast. You want to chase that.
You work with so many artists, and so many people always want to work with you. So is there anybody like you want to work with?
You worked with everybody.
I
You
know.
worked with Michael Jackson.
I know.
Yeah. I just
Don't you work with Michael and Whitney?
Yeah, it's like
And Prince.
I just think that
Rapper Jay.
Who?
I'm just making up.
I just think that there's like artists that come out that fit me, or they'll think I'll fit them, and they'll call me like me and Ty Dollar Signs.
No, I can see that. Though.
Supposed to be working together. We haven't worked together.
I can hear that though.
You know, but these are all people. I meet people at 7-Eleven that I work with. You know, that's where I live. I live in LA. I'm from Oakland, but I moved there because you can sort of kill two birds with one stone. You know, you can just always work with different people. I work with John Legend a lot. Like, John Legend uses my studio more than me. Like, when I'm out there, I left, John was there working on a track with some other producers. So that's why I went to LA, so I could just be a utility person. I just didn't want to be an artist who just like, I'm an artist, I'm on this star thing. I've never been that. I've been super place. I used to work at United Parcel. I used to work in landscape.
Look at he trying to like bring himself down to regular folk
Yeah,
level.
right.
That's it.
That's
I mean,
so sweet.
You have to be.
30-year plus career, but I'm
30
just a
years
regular.
plus.
And I get it. You know, you one of those kind of guys. You can walk like you're a superstar. There's different. Like you can be a superstar and walk around. That has to be. Cool.
I'm a Whole Foods star.
Oh,
This
You know what I mean?
guy.
you
This
epic,
guy.
Epic.
This guy.
Not even that. More of like a 7-Eleven.
This guy.
Whole Foods too expensive.
This
Yeah,
Which
guy.
yeah.
7-letter you had to get?
Yeah, because I need to bump into him too. If it's that easy to get on the out. Raphael, we gotta work, baby.
I love
We gotta
sports. I
work.
mean, I feel like athletes work way harder than everybody. You know what I mean? People work. If I can't imagine living in like in a place like this and I play football and I had to practice 2 times a day.
Oh, terrible.
You do it if they give you a big enough paycheck.
I'm saying I will be doing it,
Yeah.
but I just feel like people work so hard. I feel like musicians always act like they have the hardest job. Our job is not hard now. They might.
This is coming from the mouth of a guy who's had almost since he put out his first record hits.
I was gonna ask
So
you
for
about that.
you, it does seem easy for them when they look at you
Well,
because you write hits, you produce hits, and you can make the hit.
Yeah.
I want to
and-
go back further than that, though. Had a bass playing. Did that just come natural, self-taught, or did you just watch Louis Johnson all the time, or what?
No, I watched Larry Graham, and my neighborhood was full of bass players. Just like if you had MCs like rappers, my neighborhood was full of bass players and guitar players. And if you wanted to hang around, you had to know how to play. And that's
Isn't sliding in from your area too?
Slides from
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
Larry Graham is
Wow.
grew up in my neighborhood.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
it's just you said I'm not like I know I'm a bad boy now. So
Yeah.
I'm very humble, but I know I'm badass. I know, and I feel like it's better to walk around and know that you badass, but be very cool with people, because that it gives other people opportunities to be like you. I just need to see more people like me, just like they get famous, but they're cool, because you don't want to see all these assholes run around thinking like you're hot, because you might not be in 3 months, and when you're not hot, they're gonna stop taking your calls, stop talking to you. You're gonna be working at Walgreens, and everybody like, bro, that was you.
Well, you've seen him come and go.
See, I seen him come and go. So I was like, my dad always told me, bro, you're gonna see him on your way up. You're gonna see the same people on your way down. And I've been able to just maintain and do what I want to do, and I think that's the key to it. You know, I get to come to Houston and play shows, even though nobody know I'm in town.
Oh, don't
Wow.
say. They know you're in town. Stop it. Stop. All right, I'm gonna go through a series because I know you're on time. All right, 1. I know you perform with Sheila E. and Prince. I never hear you talk about any of what happened. Like, did Prince ever come to you? Did he know about the Tonys? Any of that stuff? Because I've never heard you say anything in particular about that.
About the shows, about me.
No,
playing
about
them?
you, about Prince. And you, I mean, here it is, a young kid right out of school playing bass, Sheila E. on stage. Prince is right over there.
Crazy.
But did he ever come to you and give you
It's
some
me.
advice and say,
This is me playing with Sheila when I was.
wow,
That's me over here playing bass.
that's on your page? Okay.
That's the Saadiq fan.
Oh, so,
I reason I play that because some girl just found this. I've never seen that
Wow.
all these years until like
some
the other
fan
day.
goes and gets your stuff and that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I just saw it. I was like, Sheila would never give it to me. Yes. But anyway, well,
Did they
about Prince?
Would you learn with Sheila E. and Prince? And did they ever talk to you particularly? And did even Prince know about your music?
I didn't have any music when I first started playing with Sheila and Prince. I was playing around on 4 tracks a little bit, but I wasn't like I wasn't a singer. I wasn't a producer. I wasn't trying to be a front man. I didn't have a B plan in life, and I didn't have an A plan. The plan was my mother was like, you got to go to work for the government for 40 years, get your retirement, and retire. That was their only plan. I didn't go to college. I didn't take the SAT test. I didn't do none of that. I was just playing music, and it all just kind of happened. I just never looked back. But I did talk to Sheila a lot. I still talk to Sheila a lot. She's like family to me. I talked to Prince a lot during those times on tour. Prince sort of took me under his wing a lot and would take me to a club and ask me if there's enough girls here for you. He would hire the whole Forbes model agency. Like it would just be like
All the models.
all the models, like the most beautiful girls in the world would just be walking around. And I had a Jerry curl and a fanny pack on. And I had like
back in. You
and I
good?
had like a Taurus, the bull, and glitter across my chest. Nobody should have been talking to me, but I was with Prince, and it didn't matter. The Jerry curl did not matter. It just wasn't one of those banging Jerry curls that came down in the back. It was like tapered around here and just a little bit in the front. And he was that type of guy that was just always, I was singing. He was like, you got a nice voice. He told me I had a nice voice because I was singing Erotic City. In the band, I was singing that all of my purple life. I was singing that and play bass. But just to watch him rehearse, he was serious. He didn't really like people. I think the reason why Prince was like cool with me because I didn't try and look like him. Most people that played in bands, everybody had to wear full makeup. I mean, you basically like a queen when you walked out when you played with Prince. But I would rush to the bathroom to wash it off after a show. Then I put on my Detroit baseball cap, my 501s, my Cortez Nikes, and a T-shirt, like I am now, and just bowing out with a windbreaker on and come to the club. Prince liked that. He never cloned people who wanted to clone him out. He never really, really liked that. That was the thing he did to promote himself. He didn't understand why people wanted to be him. That was just his thing to make records and to be, to match his music. And that's what I learned from him, just to be yourself through all odds, through whatever music is out at whatever time, just to be yourself and to find your niche. Because if you find your niche, it's easier to keep going.
Yes, sir. Are the Tonys ever going to get back together again?
Well,
because in 2008, it felt like there was when we talked to you, you seemed uncomfortable with the family dynamics. Let me put it like that.
I wasn't really cool with that. I didn't really understand my brother too much.
You were clear.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything bad about him, but we mentioned the singer that was singing, fronting the band, and you were very clear. Still to this day, you're clear that he was not you.
Yeah, none of them were me. You know what I mean?
And he's still clear to this day.
I mean, it's no way to be me. I played the songs and wrote them and sang them. These dudes are just like, I said something on, I said the lead singer was a nobody. And they went crazy and posted it all over everywhere. But what I meant when I said he was a nobody was he's also a singer. He wanted me to help him write some songs. I grew up with him. We've been knowing each other since like 6th grade. So he came to my studio and we started working on a couple songs. And he called me to do that. And then he went on something and was talking bad about us. And I was like, I called him a nobody. But I'm like, because you can come on my couch and ask me to write songs with you, and I'm trying to. And then you can go on talk about me somewhere else. I'm like, you're not a man. A real man wouldn't do that. You'll call me if you had a problem with me. But the reason why I call them nobodies because I shouldn't have called him a nobody because they have kids. And I didn't mean he was a nobody as a man. As a respect of I called him a nobody. And I still mean he was a nobody. Bro, what? I wrote the songs I sang. Tom Joyner was like, I saw the Tonys and I felt like I wasn't missing you. And he said it 3-4 times and I told him.
I can tell that slights you a little bit.
And I told him, I was like, bro.
But you wrote the song.
I wrote the song, son. You always going to feel me. I'm always going to be there. But other than that, me and my brother my dad made sure that we was always going to have love for each other no matter what. And we always have. And we're going to do EP. And Tony's going to do maybe a 6-7 song EP.
Okay.
We're working on it now. We have it's a Barrier station called KBLX. They're doing a 40-year anniversary. MC Hammer's from Oakland, of course. So it's original Hammer, original Digital Underground.
Oh, wow.
And the original Tonys.
Damn.
And
that's a nice-ass show.
In a couple months. So we're getting together. This will be the first show that the Tonys did all together.
Oh, wow. Man. That's pretty big.
Yeah, we're going to do that. And so we'll see how that goes. And when the EP comes out, we just want to go around to different cities like Houston, people that really gave us the love.
They want to see that because they've been asking for it for years anyway.
So we definitely going on
what made y'all cool with each other again? Because I know money, egos, all this can break up family, friends, whatever. What happened that made one of you or somebody say, bro?
If I could be very candid, me and my brother are big bud smokers, right?
Sure.
And my brother's a big partier. Likes to party and drink, and my brother dropped his card at the bar and tell everybody, just say number 22 and go up there, you can get a free drink. Me and my brother never had any problems hanging out. We've been hanging out ever since. Nothing never changed. If I come to town, 2 o'clock in the morning and call Dwayne and say, Dwayne, I'm standing outside this bar. Where you at? Woo! He's in the front. We're just chilling.
Right.
We've never had that problem. It's just the business part just never got right because he didn't really understand where I was at, how I was thinking, and I didn't understand his way of thinking.
Gotcha.
But now that everybody can understand my way of thinking, I own video game companies.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I have coders. I have 80 people working for me. I do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they understand, like, this is not just my life. Music is my number one thing, but they understand I can make money so many other ways. So once you do that, he understands, like, no, what I was doing is I wanted to make sure we did it the right way. We come to Houston the right way. We walk in there and we represent a legacy of music the right way. And I think he understands that now. And we never had a problem. So I think what made me get it together was somebody came out and said something bad about us in our family in a documentary, right?
A family member.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's not true. This is not true about us. We got a lot of love for each other. We couldn't get the other part right because we didn't understand the business together. But we have, like, nieces and nephews who play music, and we still have some older parents that are around. And I just really want to show everybody that I love my brother to the bone. I love Timothy Riley. And we as people, as black people, can actually be in bands and get together and be good and go show people. Because I want other bands to do the same thing, but I want them to get their business together because this is a luxury for us to play music. This is not like just a given. It's like we're like very fortunate to be able to come and see people and have people clap and play music. It's a luxury. Everybody don't get to do this. So I just thought this is the time.
All right. Raphael Saadiq, new album, Jimmy Lee. It is out right now. It's jamming. You gave Bacon some recognition.
Bacon, he like
Even
that.
though he
Bacon.
hate everything else out there. I know you're feeling good about that. Raphael, it's always good to see you. You've always been the same. You've always been consistent with your music. I knew exactly when I went to the album what I was going to get. You didn't let me down. It's always A+ with you. The brother's A+. You're always candid and frank as well. And I love that about you,
Got
too.
that from my mom.
And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you even taking the time because I know a lot of stuff is
And
going
I
on
don't thank
with
you too.
today.
This is a great interview. Sometimes you can go places and the interviews are not that good. I do a lot of interviews and all over the world.
Well, everybody here knows your music, so it's kind of
That's
different for us.
This is a great interview. I
It's a
mean, I
little
woke
different
up
for
to
us.
a
Mr.
great interview. I
were
like
you in
that.
a group or all over the world to get the crazy questions like which group are you in or did someone they don't know anything about you?
No, you get stories like it'd be like a song like It Feels Good. They're like, yeah, we love that record you put out. Oh, it feels great.
Well, we know what kind of interview this is about to be. Nah, but you have an incredible legacy of music, and I'm really excited about the idea of the original Tonys being back together. That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be fun.
So,
yeah.
That's a sellout concert right there. But I know y'all already know that.
Yeah,
so it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be fun.
good, man.
We'll
But
see.
thank you so much.
And thank you, bro.
My man.